I'm taking a strap. I'm strapped up.
What's happening? What was that about?
Let's make the fight happen. We strapped the fuck up.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 260 of the SZN Podcast. I'm your boy Kam.
Boy Flowz.
And as always, guys, you know the drill by now. Please head over to our Instagram page, the SZN Podcast, or our Twitter page, the SZN Pod. There's a link in the bio on both of those platforms that will take you to where we're situated at, streaming-wise. So if audio is your sort of thing, we've got the usual links such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and so on and so forth. And if you prefer visuals, the YouTube link is also there as well, guys. So make sure you do that for us, guys. Much appreciated. Flowz, how have you been, my boy? You good?
Good, bro. How are you?
Yeah, man, I'm great. Finally, we got some big time boxing coming back to us. Yeah, man. There's only one place to start, bro. There's only one fight or one card that we kind of want to preview this week. I think it's the only card going on, right? If I'm not mistaken, I think there is any other cards.
I think so.
I don't think there's a PBC. I don't think there's a Queensberry. Well, Queensberry's part of this, I guess. But yeah, Flowz. This is the. I don't know. Is Itauma Dillian Whyte the headline, or is it Ray Ford Abraham Nova?
It's Itauma Whyte.
It's definitely Itauma Whyte, right? Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Well, that's why I've been seeing it build as anyway. So yeah, man. Moses Itauma versus Dillian Whyte. Good undercard as well, but I think it's fair that we start with the main event, right, Flowz? Should we start with the main thing? Go straight into the main thing, and then we'll take it from there?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. So, Itauma Dillian Whyte, bro. Old versus new. First things first, Flowz. Did this fight, when it was announced, did it come as a surprise to you?
Yeah, huge surprise.
Why is that?
I think it got leaked or rumored, and I was like, nah, this ain't happening. There's no way White's taking on this kind of challenge when he should be chasing paydays in this point in his career. I felt like White would be chasing more big names or big paydays or bigger shots to maybe getting him live for a big shot rather than taking on someone who's up and coming, unproven, a huge risk, almost little reward. So yeah, I didn't really buy into it. And then, yeah, it's proved to be true. Especially with other names linked with White. Obviously, we know AJ's out there, Wilder, Lawrence Okoli, there's already Needle there. This one just came out the blue almost. So yeah, definitely surprised me.
Yeah, no, I agree. I guess on both sides, right? Because, well, not so much on the Itauma side, because we've been saying, right, that obviously they've been throwing lofty accolades at Itauma, right? And the talk has been that, he's the one, he's the next up. Once Usyk calls it a day, he's the future of the heavyweight division. And we want to see him against competition now, guys who can fight back and punch back, because up until now, he's sort of demolished his foes, but foes you kind of expect him to demolish, to be honest, bro. So, now is a time of, okay, cool, let's move him along now. He's shown that he's of a higher level than most other prospects. Who can we get to sort of give him that sort of middle ground challenge, if you know what I mean? So, yeah, I always knew that obviously they're looking to, move him up against someone that is a much more credible opponent than, say, who did he fight recently? Was it Dempsey McKean? Was it McKean? Yeah, and Marius Wack. You're looking at guys who are going to be better than that. But I just didn't think Dillian Whyte's name was in the mix, bro. As you said, we're expecting to see Whyte versus, lobby for a big fight against an AJ, final payday fight against a Wilder, for example. So, yeah. Does Whyte taking this fight, bro? Does that almost cement him now as he is now at that almost gatekeeper status? Or is he at the gatekeeper status now? By him fighting Itauma, who is regarded as a prospect.
If he loses, then yeah, he's relegating himself to this position if he loses. Yeah, because he's not really a gatekeeper. This is the first up-and-coming prospect he's really kind of fought, I think. And look, to be fair, I remember when he fought Jermaine Franklin, he didn't look impressive, and I said people should start calling out White at this point.
Yeah, I remember you said.
Remember? And then since then, he's had a ban since then or something since then, or been out of action.
The reason the AJ fight didn't happen was because of the drug thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So he had another ban after that. So he's been inactive. If he loses, he's now a gatekeeper. I wouldn't say prior to him taking on this fight, he was a gatekeeper status because there's still other fights out there for him. But yeah, I think if he loses or if he doesn't look impressive, maybe, let's say.
Yeah. I mean, bro, let's keep it a buck. Dillian Whyte hasn't looked impressive for a long, long time. Long time. Obviously, when he came back against Franklin, struggled. Yeah. Obviously, got the AJ fight. We're thinking, okay, that's your cash out because even you yourself know you're on your decline. That didn't happen, obviously. Long layoff. Since his comeback, I remember he had that fight in Ireland, I think it was. Didn't look great. I think he's had another fight since then. Again, hasn't looked amazing. So yeah, man. It's safe to say that we know he's on the decline, and it's been a sharp decline for Dillian Whyte. I'm intrigued to know how much he's getting for this fight, to be honest, bro, because obviously we had season, so I know the bread is legit, but Itauma himself isn't a massive name in that sense, obviously. But I guess White's looking at it in the sense of he wins this, he can go back into big time almost because Itauma is seen as the prospect right now, the next guy up. So if he takes Itauma's scalp, maybe that gives him, I guess more cachet when it comes to making another big fight if it happens with an AJ, for example, or a Wilder, as we said. Bro, it's no secret, man. White's a heavy underdog for this fight. Heavy underdog. Do you think White's been massively overlooked here?
Yeah, I do. I'll be honest. Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
I think, look, White has been inactive, hasn't looked great. But honestly, he never has looked fantastic, has he? He's always, keep it a buck, he's always just dogged it out. Just, yeah. Look at the Chisora fights. Never looked overly impressive in that.
Yeah, didn't look good, yeah.
Against Parker, just out-dogged him. If that fight went on longer, he might have been stopped. Povetkin, he was winning, he was up.
Povetkin's probably the best he's looked before he got knocked out. Yeah.
Yeah, and Povetkin stopped him. Tyson Fury stopped him viciously. Look, early in his career, a lot was made of, he did have an extensive amateur background. He was a kickboxer, more of a roadman, raw. It's true. So, look, he's kind of just gone into boxing with grit and dog is what he's done. But that dog has carried him right up to title shots and right up into the world's contention, really.
Word.
Whereas Itauma hasn't competed anywhere near the level Dillian Whyte's competing at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nowhere near. And does he have the dog to compete with Dillian Whyte, who's, remember, we always say Itauma hasn't even fully grown.
He's a baby, bro. He's a baby, bro.
Yeah, and Dillian Whyte's a fully grown man. He looks in good shape. Isn't going to make it easy for Itauma, I don't think. So I think people are overlooking Whyte. And maybe people are overstating Itauma's experience.
Yeah, I mean, look, that is definitely the consensus, bro, and what I've seen. And like I said, what the commentary has been that, from people who are saying, look, Itauma hasn't been here, simply put, he's not been here. As you said, hasn't fought anyone at the level. How can you go from, McLean or whatever to Dillian Whyte, who is experienced, fought at world level, fought world-class guys and beaten them. So how can suddenly now Itauma has got all the backing in the world, understandable backing as well. He definitely is a frightening, mega talented prospect, but yeah, there's no doubt about it, bro, that he hasn't been at this level before, and it could be too soon for him. Could be. So yeah, I guess for people who are thinking upset, I get the logic, bro. I get the logic of, maybe an upset isn't on the cards here. That being said, though, I think Itauma's going to win, bro. I'll be so real. I'm not. It's not me believing the hype or buying into the hype. Obviously, I think he's a very, very talented fighter. And what I've seen so far, you know how we say, Flowz, we see. Sometimes you just see it. We said the same thing with Boots. When Boots, they said he hadn't fought no one, hadn't fought for no titles. How come you're elevating him into this? It's just you can just see it. With certain people, you just see it. You don't even need to see too much. And with Itauma, we can see it. And unfortunately, what we've seen from Dillian Whyte is just a steep, steep decline. Whereas Itauma is getting better and better. And I think maybe the skill, the speed, maybe too much for Dillian. If there's anyone that can, dog his way through it, though, it'll be Dillian Whyte. But yeah, man, I just think that for youth, the speed, like I said, just to be fair to Dillian, this is the best. I don't know if you've seen him, Flo, like in terms of like, this looks like the best shape he's ever been. Because that's one thing I've criticized, me as a White fan, one thing I've criticized him with our career was, I feel like his condition has never been the best. Never been the best. But he looks lean and ready to go. And no doubt about it, White's a guy that has a chip on his shoulder. So he's definitely used this, the fact that he's a huge underdog for this, as fuel to get in the best of shapes. And I'm sure Dillian Whyte is going to try and roll back the years. I just think, unfortunately, the decline is too much, man. And, we always say, you got to show me based on your last fight and how you looked. And he hasn't looked great at all, to be honest. Whereas I think Itauma's star is rising. So, yeah, man, I just think that Itauma's overall skill and youth will help him here. And the youth is a double-edged sword because obviously we know that youth could also mean inexperience, and he could do things in there that White, as the wily veteran, could take advantage of. But I like to think that Itauma's got a good enough head on his shoulders to navigate that, whatever White's going to bring. I do think White's going to bring the whole rough and tumble kind of thing, Flowz, because he has to. I don't think he can try and go. I don't think he can go machine for machine with Itauma with that speed, to be honest, and that sort of spite in his punches. So he's definitely going to have to try the old school roughhouse tactics. Be as the bigger man, bully the younger man, smaller man. Sure. So I'm intrigued to see how Itauma responds to that. I want to see if he can show me, obviously, that, he has that greatness in him to respond to that. But yeah, I think it'll be a good fight.
Yeah, my worry is that Itauma blows Dillian Whyte out of there. That would be peak.
Oof. I don't want to see that, but yeah.
Yeah, that would be damning. If that happens, I think Dillian Whyte should retire. Is the honest truth. He forgets, because we've seen him take.
You would even want to see him get that cash out, that second AJ fight or that Wilder fight, which I know you really.
That's all dusted if he gets stopped in 2 rounds by an Itauma. That's all over and done with.
Flowz, I think if he gets battered by Itauma, a Wilder fight can still happen.
I don't.
Not an AJ fight, but a Wilder fight can still happen.
Maybe. Wilder's on the
because Wilder's been getting treated. So let's be fair, right? Let's be fair, bro.
Yeah, it's true. But Wilder's an idiot. He'll use that against Whyte and say, "Well, Whyte just got stopped by this."
Yeah, true. Very true. Very true. Very true.
So why does he deserve a shot at me? Wilder's the type of idiot who'll say something like, "Why does he deserve a shot at me?"
Very, very true.
Well, yeah. I can't trust Wilder to make anything happen, really. But yeah, look, I was thinking, since Moses turned professional, 2-3 years ago, Dillian Whyte's fought twice. And his inactivity has been terrible in the last 5 years. I think the last 5 years he's fought 5 times, if that. So yeah, and he's getting older. You'd like to think that he'll come in there and show Moses that this is a different level. This is a different level, but it's hard to say if White even at the level he was before. So yeah, I can't look past Moses almost catching Dillian Whyte at a perfect time, almost, and yeah, winning, whether it's on points, whether it's by KO. I doubt it's going to be points, but I've always been critical of the way Dillian Whyte takes shots. He's always too jittery when he takes shots, and like he makes it known that he's taken a shot, if that makes sense, with his body language. Whereas Chisora will take a big shot and just keep plodding forward, so you won't even know.
Yeah.
She's always just very wily, very crafty in the ring, very underrated in that sense. Like, take big shots and ride it well, and you won't even. You said, did that land cleanly or did that hurt? You won't even know. Which is all right. Whereas Dillian Whyte, his whole body will move and he'll try and a bit too erratic when he takes shots. And I think he'll be taking shots all night from Moses. It's the big thing. So, I would hope. He looks to be game. He looks to be fit. I'm hoping it's a very up for it Dillian Whyte, who's not too past his best, that'll make it an entertaining fight. Yeah,
I agree. Final prediction, Flowz. Obviously, I've said I think Itauma's going to win. What do you got? Are you saying one last dance for Mr. the Body Snatcher, or do you think that ship has sailed now?
Yeah, I think Itauma is going to win. But if the odds are nice, I'll put money on White. So if the odds are nice, it is what it is.
Yeah, I hear it.
If the odds are nice, but I think Itauma will win.
Yeah, cool. All right, look forward to it, man. It should be a good fight. Very, very intriguing fight. Anyways, I mentioned Flowz undercard. Listeners, I mentioned how it is a decent undercard as well. Some good fights to talk about. We might as well keep it with the heavyweights. Talk about Flowz' favorite fighter, or one of them. I think you said top 3 funniest fighters in the world right now.
Yeah.
David Adeleye is back. Pod favorite. He's a pod favorite, man. We can't even deny it at this point. So we last saw Mr. Adeleye against Jamie TKV, and obviously we know that fight. The build-up was funny. I'm gonna hurt you, Jamie. I'm gonna hurt you, bro. The build-up was funny. The fight was funny. Yeah. Contentious ending. We're there thinking, okay, rematch is gonna happen. Next thing we know, Flowz, out of the blue, we thought they were working on the rematch with Jamie TKV because I think Jamie deserved the rematch. Stoppage was, like I said, a bit contentious. And out of the blue, we're seeing Filip Hrgovic is his new opponent. Now, we talked about maybe the Itauma Dillian Whyte announcement being a surprise. This one was a bloody surprise. Bro, where has this come from?
No idea.
Look, I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm going to keep it a buck on this pod, bro. The first thing I said was, oh, damn. They're throwing away his career already. That's crazy. Because how on earth do you go from struggling against Jamie TKV to a Filip Hrgovic who's hot off the press against the win with Joe Joyce? Yeah, man. What is this matchmaking, man?
Yeah, I'm confused. I was very confused. But look, you know what? I'll give credit to Whyte and Adeleye. They ain't ducking. It's as simple as that.
Word.
They're not ducking. This is almost a gross mismatch. I'm rooting for David. I'm 100% rooting for. I need David.
Yeah, I know.
I need David to win because the smoke talk. Talk will be out of this world.
Word.
So I need it. But yeah, this seems a gross mismatch, especially when, like you say, struggled against Jamie TKV, made Fabian Wardley look like Muhammad Ali.
What? Struggled against Sokolowski.
Yeah. Now you can look at the Dubois fight versus Hrgovic and almost see Hrgovic wilted and faded. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if David Adeleye can replicate that performance from Dubois. So
Can't.
I don't know.
He can't.
Yeah.
First of all, he doesn't have the engine. Doesn't throw the same amount of punches. I just the matchmaking to me, bro, it's off. It's off. I feel like, you know, it's very well known and acknowledged by his own promotional company that David Adeleye is still raw and he's still learning. He's only been with Adam Booth. This is what his third fight with Adam Booth just coming up. So it's still in its infancy. Adam Booth is there saying, he's going to take his time with him, blah, 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 blah. But he's got a lot of potential, but he wants to work on his footwork and all these things. So I don't get how you go from that, talking like that, to throwing him in against the guy that is in his prime, is on the cusp of a world title challenge, probably. Very, very well established, amateur and as a pro. Very dangerous, monster puncher, all those things. To me, it kind of stinks. I can't lie. It's not. Now, David Adeleye can turn around now and have the performance of the ages, and we know he can bang. So he might catch Hrgovic, stop him, and then shut us up real nice. But I think you should be, as you know, when you're making these fights, you got to put these guys in the best position to succeed. And it's not saying that David Adeleye isn't capable of stepping up and proving us wrong, but I just don't see it. I just don't see it against someone the level of Hrgovic who has been at higher levels than him, much higher levels. Like I said, this ain't Jamie TKV, bro. Jamie TKV was making Adeleye look silly at times in their fight. So I was shocked, man. And to me, it almost feels as if they're cashing out on his career now. I don't know why. But yeah, fair play to him. Balls. Because to be with heavyweights, anything can happen. I know that. But it's just, I don't feel like, because even against Dubois, Hrgovic was piecing Dubois up.
Yep.
Up until, obviously, Dubois, yeah, we know Dubois is made of certain strength. So, but, bro, Hrgovic, it's not like Hrgovic is, bro, it's not like Hrgovic is faded.
Oh, you see certain. That took me a second to catch it anyway.
But hey, I ain't gonna say too much more. If you get it, you get it.
Yeah. Look, it's strange match. You'd almost say Itauma versus Adeleye makes sense, and
Facts.
Whyte versus Hrgovic makes sense. They're mad because Itauma just jumps right past all them man his level or
yeah. No, same crop.
Same crop. Even though he's probably started a bit after them, and he's obviously younger than them, he's jumped right past them and jumped to Whyte. And David Adeleye's jumped levels to Hrgovic. But look, makes for interesting discussion, really.
We'll see, but I'm expecting, unfortunately, Hrgovic to take this, unfortunately. And it's just because they haven't moved Adeleye right with this one, in my opinion. And hey, I'll be the first to hold my hands up if he does come out with it. And to be like, fair play, Dave. But yeah, this one to me, I think it's a tough task for him, man. Real tough task. But the fight, bro, is going to be hilarious. It's going to be bombs away. It's going to be bombs away. So I look forward to seeing that. Yeah, man. I'm assuming you also going for Hrgovic win. I'm assuming.
I want to put money on David Adeleye. That's for sure. That's for sure. I want to put money there. I want him to win. Look, because Hrgovic hasn't looked great, but David doesn't have the attributes that he has power. So he has
apart
power.
Apart from the left hook,
which
is very powerful. Yeah.
But being busy, throwing a lot of punches, that's what's going to get to. That's what we've seen. Trouble Hrgovic applying a lot of pressure.
Yep. Which he doesn't do.
Yeah, he doesn't. He actually tries to
sit back and cut a punch.
Sit back and wait.
That's what I'm saying. It's hilarious to me because his style is so off for what is needed against Hrgovic, bro. We've never seen Adeleye on the front, pressuring guys. He loves trying to sit back and time his...
Sit back and land big shots. Yeah. So I don't know. And he's
even against JBTKV, he just started trying to load up the big shot.
Yeah.
When he set up his work. Yeah, man.
So I don't know. I'm honestly sitting there trying to find a way to legit say, I think David Adeleye is going to do it.
Unless Hrgovic, that we know Hrgovic is the type to, if he doesn't rate you, I feel like he's the type to be lax a little bit.
Yeah.
So unless Hrgovic is going to come on the tip of, bro, you are so beneath me, I'm not even going to try. So then obviously he gets lax and gets caught with something big, then fair enough. But apart from that, I don't really see any scenario for David to win this one. But yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll still put money on David. But yeah.
First.
I hope he does it. But yeah, Hrgovic more likely than not gonna win.
Cool. So we got 2 more fights on the card, Flowz. Let's start with the Camden Savage, Ray Ford. He's up against Abraham Nova. We've seen Nova before. We actually saw him up against he had a very close fight against Shaki Foster. Foster won by a split decision. But he hasn't won since then, actually, because he lost his next one to a guy called Cortez, and then he drew his one after that. So, yeah, he hasn't really won since 2023. But if it's the Nova that showed up against Shaq Foster, it should be a interesting fight, Flowz. Obviously, we know Ford moved up afterwards. I've actually been quite in tune with Ray Ford recently because, obviously, I'm sure you know, him and Shaq have been going back and forth. Yeah. Him, Shaq, and Shakur. Obviously, Shakur's also involved, you know. Yeah. Bro, I didn't even deep how the smoke talk that Shaki Foster's been sending Shakur's way. Like he say, I ain't trying to deal with your little man Ray Ford. I'm coming for you next. I'm gonna stop you, bro. But anyways, yeah, Ford and Shaq Foster had been going at it for time now, and basically Ford has basically been calling out Shaq Foster, saying, let's get it on. I moved up to this division to fight you. Shaq Foster's basically playing like I've already got a fight lined up. And then once I've done with that, I'm then going to come for your boss, Shakur, basically. But Nova fought Shaq Foster, and Ford is basically saying that, well, since Shaq Foster is ducking, I'm going to fight the guy who gave him hell, and I'm going to knock him out, basically. That's what Ford's basically saying. So, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it because I'm sure I'm assuming I think Ford's going to win. I do rate Ray Ford. Yeah. He does win, though. I'm expected to hear him send smoke Shaq Foster's way. So yeah, they have genuine need, and I hope that they can fight because obviously Shaq Foster, as we know, is a champion at that weight class. Way Ford was an ex-champion in the weight class below, moved up, and yeah, man, he's looking to get it cracking. So definitely one to watch. Interesting development there. But yeah, I've been in tune with Ray Ford recently due to the Twitter back and forths.
Fight, I expect Ray Ford to win. I think Nova's not won since.
Yeah, he hasn't. Yeah, he hasn't won since 2023.
Yeah, so
he's yeah.
But he's a good fighter. I can't say he's not. Yeah, like you say, gave Shaq Foster problems. So yeah, and good fight.
Yeah, agreed. And we spoke about Ray Ford, who fought Nick Ball before, but Nick Ball's on the card. He's defending his belt. I think he's got the WBA featherweight title up against an undefeated opponent in Sam Goodman from Australia. This is going to be Nick Ball's third defense. I think I've seen Goodman against Doheny a couple of years back. Yeah, I think that's who I've last seen him against. Really, he was due. This is the guy that he was meant to fight anyway. But he had a bad cut, and then it got postponed, and then it got cancelled again because then Inoue then got injured. So yeah, he was meant to fight Inoue twice, and both times it fell through due to the both of them getting injured. But yeah, I know he's highly rated in Australia. Meant to be a very, very slick boxer. From what I remember, he was quite slick when I saw him. So this could probably possibly, I guess, based on just the styles, because we know what Nick Ball's going to come with. So it's probably going to be obviously Nick Ball applying his usual pressure, and obviously Goodman probably trying to obviously outslick him in there. So it should make for an interesting fight, bro. Nick Ball's always in cracking fights if we're keeping it a buck. So yeah, man. I think this will be a good one. I think this is going to be a really, really good one. So I look forward to watching it.
Yeah, like we say, Nick Ball's super entertaining to watch anyway, regardless.
Yeah. The Wrecking Ball.
Yeah.
Probably got one of the best nicknames in boxing right now as well, to be fair.
Yeah. Loves an uppercut. So
yeah.
we're going to see that spammed.
Oh, that fight where he spammed it.
We're going to see that uppercut.
Don't kill me. Flowz, the way he was spamming the uppercut was killing me. Just... Yeah, man.
Sure, you can repeat. Yeah. So
word.
Super entertaining. So look, it's a good card from top to bottom, actually.
Agreed, man. Agreed.
Yeah.
Riyadh, so it's favourable to our people over in the UK. Their time is better for them, which is good. Yeah, man. Great card. I look forward to it. And hopefully our guys come up on top. But yeah, man, that Adeleye matchmaking, man. I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. Anyways, if Dave loses, it's not even a bad thing. He can still go back to the level where he's at. Jamie TKV, run it back. Yeah. Fraser Clark. So to be fair, it's a high risk. It's high risk, but the rewards it's not too bad for him if he loses at all. So yeah, he can go back to just the level he is, and they'll say, look, oh yeah, well he did fight against a guy who was much better than him. Fair enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool, Flowz. I think we can leave it there. Call it a day there. Yeah, I don't think there's anything. Unless you got anything else you wanna add.
I think so. I haven't been in tune with the boxing news as of late, but yeah.
Don't worry, we're back. Big fights are back. Cool. All right then, man. This has been episode 260 of SZN Podcast. Once again, I'm your boy Kam
Flowz.
And as always, you know where to find us on the streaming platforms. Peace.
I'm taking a strap. I'm strapped up.
What was that about?
Let's make the fight happen. We strapped the fuck up.